lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Barbara not Barbara Jean's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki.
Hey, welcome to Ranting with Ricardo. We are here to talk about what them soaps. But before we get into all that, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on. Okay, do that. Hit that subscription button, and also don't forget to hit those links in the description box down below. Guess what? If it wasn't important for you to vote, and if your voting rights weren't important and your vote did not count, they wouldn't be trying to drag her by her edges and snatch them rights away from you. I'm telling you now, they wouldn't be trying to do it. They wouldn't be. So go ahead and make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you will keep up to date about you being able to register to vote and that you are, registered to vote in your state. Also, keep up with who's on your ballot, what policies they're running off of, and make sure you're voting in the little elections, the medium-sized elections, and the big elections, okay? All the elections in your city, your town, your county, your state, your parish, wherever you live, as long as you are able to legally vote and you are registered, make sure you go out and vote in all the elections because it's a trickle-up system. It's not a trickle-down. It's a trickle-up. Whoever you vote for in the local aspect, we then move up because they're important in the machine that is running. Okay. Now, that being said, let's get into them soaps. And we're talking about GH. So they didn't have an episode air on Tuesday and they didn't have an episode air on Wednesday. So we are taking care of Monday and today, which is Thursday. My birthday was last week. I think I told y'all that as to why I was late, getting these reviews out to y'all and everything. Bear with me, okay? So, Aiden has obvious daddy issues because we talked about, Lucky and Liz's son, the only child they biologically share together. Now, y'all know it was a little fuss, a little rigmarole around there down to the GH when Aiden was born because Liz was down there getting her back broken like a glow stick all up and through Windermere and the tunnels with Nicholas. That's why he got a special place in her heart. Okay, something in her heart has got her hooked on him. And it was thought that Aiden was Nicholas's son, but turns out he was actually Lucky's, and Helena has switched the test. So Aiden has daddy issues because Lucky took off, and Lucky also would have been there for them kids back when they brought Jake home to Liz. But Lucky had told him that Jason's here, which was really true. So we have all those issues right there too. So he's like, listen, my daddy's an absentee father. I know he's only here to help my auntie. He's not going to stay for long. And I don't really think about him. And that might not be a good thing. But really, I don't think about him. And you know what? I can't see a problem with that. I can't. So, Nina plans to stand by her man, aka Drew. And Curtis is trying to figure out if this is like a Nixon Falls situation. It's not. She over there getting her back broke like a glow stick too. So, she gonna stand by her man. And Marshall got offered to go on tour, but Marshall hasn't told Curtis anything because he's not trying to go on tour and leave, Curtis in the lurch. He wants to be a good father. He wants to make up for him being a bad parent, back in the day, all, in a way. But Curtis talks him into going on tour, and he's like, listen, I'll go on tour if y'all come see me. And you also tell me if trying to run a Aurora and, the Savoy. Is that what the club is called? I feel like it's called the Savoy. If trying to run these two places begins to be too much for you. So Marshall's going on tour, like I told y'all, okay? Because we concluded that he's going on tour on today's episode. Please, we knew that man was going on tour. Child, Brennan tells Carly, hey, everybody is back from Africa. Everybody's cool. He giving her that energy. She's giving him that energy. And Carly likes her man with a little bit of danger behind him, okay? If it ain't dangerous, she don't want it, okay? If it's not dangerous, she don't want it. And eventually, Brennan goes down there to talk to Robert about everybody being back and how the WSB has cleaned up everything with the drone strike as it pertains to Sidwell, and that all we're hoping is there will be no problems as it pertains to Holly. And Robert was like, I'm going to handle Holly. Here's the problem. Holly was supposed to go by his office, but then she decided to leave. because she stopped by Max's place looking for Robert, and Mac was there, and Mac basically told her in no uncertain terms, you bring chaos wherever you go, and I don't need you messing up my brother's life again. He has a good life here. So unless you won't stay and be, a dutiful wife, and you won't stay out of the mess, don't come back around here. So long, see you sucker. Boing violet, Jariva Dirty, later loser. Goodbye, good riddance. Don't let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you. Don't come back around here no more. Hasta la vista, baby. Kick rocks and get the hell out. That's what Mac told her. Mm-hmm. That's what he told her. And Anna is feeling a little way. She feeling a little hot in the pants because her and Jason kissed. And I was like, I'm telling Robin in no uncertain terms, I'm calling Robin up down there to the LA, California, wherever the hell her and Patrick landed. And I'm telling her you over there flirting with her first love, with her second love. Because Stone was her first love. Mm-hmm. Now Jason has to warn Carly to stay away from Brennan because he's dangerous, and we all know once again Carly ain't gonna do that. Now Lucky apologizes to Carly for not being there for Bobby's funeral, but she was like, "Listen, my mom loved you, and she understood, the life you and your father lived, and how you got down. So ain't no problem, ain't no worries, okay?" And Liz gets told by Terry because Terry comes to visit Liz, and she's like, "Listen, Lucky look good. Even though he looked beat up, he looked good. And they're running some tests on him, and Liz knows, hey, they're running tests because he's here to save Lulu." Now, in Lulu's not doctor's office, in her room, we play little flashbacks of a younger Lucky and a younger baby Lulu, and it's just like it gets you in the feels, and it's just like, you were so young. And he apologizes to Lulu for not being the brother she needed and not being there for her when she needed him the most. But he gonna be there for her now. And I feel like Jonathan Jackson has signed a long term. I don't know how long his contract is, but he's gonna be around for a while. Now, Lucky head on down to Bobby's, and he's looking at the sign. It's like, oh, he likes the name, and he realizes from the brushstrokes that this is lit. Like this is Liz's work. And him and Liz catch up, and she tells him, "I'm the head nurse at GH," and he was like, "Bobby would be proud, and I'm proud of you." They talk about Aiden, but Liz is like, "I'm not about to give you no information on Aiden. If you want to learn about Aiden, if you want to talk to Aiden, if you want to get to know him, you got to do it yourself." And it's just like, I have no problems with that. I can't tell you nothing about that kid and how that kid feels other than the fact that he feels abandoned by you. You have to learn who your child is. And she basically let him know, don't go around making no promises if you don't plan on staying. And he agrees. I can't make no promises because I don't know if I plan on staying. I also have to mention Kevin and what that lady name is? Laura. Kevin and Laura went to go find Lucky, and it's stormed, so nobody can tell them that Lucky is here in Port Charles. Now Molly went down there to visit, Alexis, and she's basically telling Alexis because Valentine, who's masquerading as Martin, um, has told her, he thinks Sonny pew-pewed brittle bones, brittle haired Kate. And she feels like, well, you can't be sticking up for him, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you need to stop sticking up for Christina, because what happens if you go to prison? Well, who's going to take care of Christina? Who's going to help her? And she was like, I was hoping it would be you and your sister, and she doesn't want to do that because Christina needs to apologize to her. But I'm like, look at how you react when Alexis told you that Christina is spiraling at this point because she has severe postpartum depression. You don't care. And it's just like, it showed me that they never cared. Had that child lived, like, had it become an option between making sure the child lived versus Christina, they would have chose that child. They wouldn't have cared about Christina. They really didn't want. I'm gonna just say this because I said this last time I did my recaps, and I'm gonna say it this time. They didn't want that child to begin with. And you're like, what do you mean they didn't want that child? Think about this. They didn't take time off. Neither one of them. Both of them were working full-time schedules as it was getting close. She was like maybe 2-3 weeks away from giving birth. They were still working their full schedules. They truly did not have everything set up in that nursery. They didn't actually have everything they needed. Like, they packed up some stuff, but they didn't have everything they needed. Wasn't no baby showers being had, wasn't no gender reveals being had. Nobody was taking time, maternity and paternity leave. We didn't see none of that happen. They were still working and working and working and working. And nobody talked about, okay, well, when the baby's born, what insurance are they going to be on? Do we have the car seat? They didn't even have a car seat. They didn't have none of this stuff. They did not want that baby for real. This was just a way to hold them together because Molly does not want to get married. And truly, yes, you have to blame your parents for because, well, I can't say she has to blame her parents as to why she doesn't want to get married. You can't think that your marriage is going to end up the way that other people's marriages ended up because your marriage wouldn't have been the same. But Molly don't want to get married and TJ want to get married, so they settled on having a baby that was going to hold them together. But then it's just like, well, Molly can't have kids, and it's just like, yes, she can. She would need to have the surgery for endometriosis to, and give it time and then start trying for a year after that. And if she doesn't conceive, then she's considered infertile. Molly didn't want to do that either. Y'all got some eggs and you had one surrogate and she claimed she had a miscarriage. And I'm like, well, why didn't you go to the same hospital? That this don't make no sense. That lady got that baby. She do. She does. Quit playing with me. Ultimately, I don't give a good goddamn about Molly, TJ, whatever, because they about to do some stuff that I'm gonna just say it. They gonna do something they can't come back from. And I don't particularly care in this moment because they're being assholes. All of them. At the end of the day, you're saying, oh, Christina's made a series of bad choices in life. Well, you did throw her being abused in her face. You threw the whole Parker situation in her face. And ultimately, Parker was, whether Christina went after that lady or not, there was a point in time where Parker is the professor. She exerts power. She has power. They shouldn't have gotten that relationship. Her joining the cult. Well, I mean, I can't really blame nobody for joining a cult because from what I hear, them people's real slick talkers and know how to get through your mind. Um, Other than that whack, her getting married and doing that reality show and dropping out of Yale. Now I could blame Christina for that one. Definitely could blame Christina for that one. Uh, because when she joined the cult, she was just looking for a place she belonged. And that typically is what happens when you see these people join a cult. They looking for a place to belong. That abusive relationship, it was an abusive relationship, domestic violence. I don't know what you wanted her to do. The girls got to hit rock bottom most of the time to get up out of there. And sometimes it does not end well for them. So it's just like, I'm trying to figure out what decisions are we talking about that Christina has made other than marrying Joe Scully Jr.'s and Connie Falconeri's son, and then doing that whack reality show and dropping out of Yale. Other than that, I'm not seeing these things. Other than also going to Ava's hotel room. Those two things, definitely stupid. But Molly's an asshole, and I can't with her no more. I'm done. Now, Rick is meeting with Heather, and he's like, test results aren't great. Heather wants to get out of jail. She wants to prove to her grandson that she's this good person. But I'm like, at some point, I'm gonna have to go down, Heather's history because Heather is an asshole too. Heather is a murderer. She been unaliving people left, right, center, all up and through the Port Charles. So I don't know what you want me to do about this, Miss Girl. And we're not gonna forget that you sold your baby down to the black market. Okay, when you was messing around with, was it Jeff? Jeff. We're not going to forget that. Stephen Lars, it's about time for him to get out of prison. It is. Now, where were we? So, Molly, Rick, me on Rick. Like, daughter like father like daughter. They both get on my damn nerves. So, Alexis and Heather are about to have each other's backs in prison because, Heather been there for a while and, Alexis is going to need all the help she can get. And from a legal standpoint, Alexis is going to help Heather. And she was like, just get more tests. And I was like, oh, so nobody thought about getting more tests. And obviously, Ava's about to get in this whole custody thing with Sunny or whatever trial she's about to go to. So she needs, Trina to take more time, but Trina is going back to PCU. So I'm going to have to cut my hours. And when Rick comes down there, he was like, oh, good news. We can get your statement thrown out. And then she unintentionally points him in the direction of Portia as why them test was messed up. Now Portia down there letting her guilt eat her up, and she's now lashing out at Brad and still like over there calling him a bad egg. But it's just like at the end of the goddamn day, Portia did the same thing. She's over here switching tests, and I get that. Heather is we want to keep her locked up. We do. Heather is the type of person you want to keep locked up forever, but you can't do what you did, as in messing with those tests, and not think it's not gonna come back on you. And if you try to blame Brad for this, it's gonna be me and you. I'm not even a big Brad fan, but he trying to get his life back in order. Okay, he don't want to work down there with his auntie. Mm. Now everybody is happy that Jason went and helped, find Lucky to bring him back to help Lulu, and they understand why he did what he needed to do. And he apologizes to Sam, like, listen, I should have told you I was leaving. It's like I should have told Danny I was leaving, all that stuff. So Sam is just happy they're having an adult conversation. I'm like, Sam, y'all could have had adult conversations before had you not been, put my feelings in the front of it and blame him for every bad thing that's ever happened in your life. Because we're not going to forget how you slip-slided your way all up and through Port Charles, and the fact that it was a question of who was the father of Lila Morgan. Was it Sonny or was it Jax? Because you was bed hopping and scamming people. We're not going to talk about that because you have put a lot of people in danger too. Just take the win. He apologized. Just take the win. Also, it's still looking like she gonna be out of here in November sweeps, and I'm trying to figure out how she gonna leave. Are we just gonna send her off on a nice cruise? Are we going to unalive her? Is that just gonna, push into the Christina Molly TJ situation? They try to do something to Christina, but it ends up happening to Sam. I'm so confused on what's happening. But that was it for GH Monday and Thursday. And I'll be back on Friday to give y'all something new. And with that being said, hit that subscription button, hit those notification bells, and hit those links in the description box down below. And make sure you register to vote and make sure you get out there and vote. With that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye.